Video is going to show you how to do a little bit of scratchboard practicing. You're going to want a little scrap of scratchboard. You want some scratching tools. We got a scratchboard pen. I put together little kits for our class. So then you should have multiple scratching tools as an option to use. So feel free to test them out, and you can kind of see how I do that throughout this video. So I like to give myself these outlines. I just find it easier, but it is not a requirement. So I'm dividing mine into 8 sections just because. For the pen, you make sure that it lines up and you just kind of push it in there, and then that's all that it is. It doesn't need a lot of pressure because it will hold in quite well, and you need to be able to get them back out. So hatching is our first technique. So you always start by gently scratching, okay? If you scratch too brightly right away, you can't change that. So to get successful scratchboards, you want to make sure that you're building up your values. So since we're doing reverse value, you'll want to start by making it obviously very dark, which is how it starts. And then you want to make it just a little bit lighter, and then you keep building that up. So how I do this for making a value scale is that you can see that I have my lighter side on the left, and then it gets darker as it goes over. So I'm leaving that far right side of this section 100% black. And then I always start on the left side, and I just gently keep scratching away layers. So it's super bright on the left side, and I just keep hatching, and I kind of keep bringing it over, but it's all very light pressure. So then therefore it helps build up those values. So whether it's short lines, long lines, like I said, lots of different ways of hatching. This is just a couple different ways. So build up those values, and that will help. Next up, we have cross hatching. So it's the same as your hatching, all right, except for now we are going to be crisscrossing basically. So I'm just going to test out a different tool here, see what you like, see what you don't like. Maybe you don't like some of these other tools, and sometimes they don't work as well as you'd hope them to, and that tends to happen, all right? So just swap them out, see once again, if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, don't use it. So you can kind of see I'm still doing the same thing. I'm building up those layers. So I have my lines closer together if I want it brighter, and I have them more spaced apart with a very gentle pressure to make it darker. So now you are going to be continuing to practice. So I like to look at different techniques that I find online, so different ways of using line to create textures and to create value. And then this is where play out with some of those other tools and see what is going to work best for your project and what is not. So like with this one, I'm doing this little wavy thing with this multi-scratch line. Kind of creates this cool like watery hair effect kind of thing, but same thing. I can do light, I can do dark with those techniques. I always kind of like this one. It almost reminds me of like a nest for some reason, kind of the little short hatch lines that are all kind of grouped together. So that kind of creates a fun texture as well. But once again, overlapping, kind of building up those values. I can have a light area and I can have a dark area. So just keep testing out different textures. Rotate your pens. Sometimes you'll find that maybe when you're trying to scratch in one direction, it doesn't work out super great. So then try rotating or flipping the pen over. Sometimes it's just the angle that the blade is cut in, and that you're just going in the wrong direction. Sometimes the pressure is wrong. There's all sorts of different things, but you can see that there are different edges with these blades. So test them out. It really is not fun if you test it out on your project and then it gets screwed up. So test them out on here. Like I said, rotate and see what works and what doesn't work. So for this practice, you're going to want to make sure that you practice a value scale for hatching, cross hatching, and then just at least 2 other techniques. Make sure you have your name on your paper and then make sure that everything gets put back together every day so that all your pens go in that little baggie, your little holder, so everything in your kit can stay together.